Hi, welcome. My name is Dale McCluskey, and on this video, I'm going to be providing a overview of the police K-9 training option that's available through this one-of-a-kind interaction-based system of training. And when you go onto my website, and you click on police K-9 training, this page will come up, providing additional information regarding the various options for those who are seeking to advance their K-9 team using this unique system of training. And again, the system of training is based on, again, an interaction-based approach, which brings the focus onto the K-9 handler the right way, by way, again, of through specific task-related training, by way of tracking, by way of protection, by way of narcotic detection, explosive, and other various tasks that you would have your police K-9 want to perform. So understanding that, again, this is all based on, again, of through police K-9. I was a police K-9 trainer, handler myself through with a Canadian police agency for many years. Again, I talk about the police K-9 officers really having a tremendous insight into the relationship. It comes from, again, just that level of bond, that level of training. Your police K-9 being your partner, being with you 24/7. It really leads police K-9 officers towards a very, very special and unique relationship, more so than any other type of training in terms of dog training. So again, through achieving a certain result. Again, you can go into and actually look at my background in terms of what was achieved through, again, my background, my training. And still to this day holding having the youngest police K-9 in Canada make a street level narcotic fine, coming from, again, starting at a very young age with training, special program I went through. But again, in terms of moving forward, again, I talk about depth in terms of perceptions of dogs, how, again, to shift the focus onto the K-9 officer in such a way that it carries over to achieving a very, very high level of performance with your K-9. Understand that it's all through, again, when you look at how that was achieved, how to achieve that level. I mean, those are the questions originally in terms of me developing this system, okay, which is different than any other system you're going to find out there in the world. Asking questions in terms of beyond just jumping into training by way of motivating dogs, the way that's very popular in not just in terms of police K-9, but in terms of just in general, in terms of just your obedience type of training with people's pets. But again, coming to an understanding as to the depth, okay, as to what this relationship truly represents in terms of achieving a result, a outstanding police K-9 team. How does that actually happen? And again, reflecting back on that and actually asking some questions as to, okay, knowing you've achieved a certain level with your dog, but how did you actually get there? Knowing that it just extends beyond devices, extends beyond using certain motivators, it extends beyond all of that. There's depth, okay? And again, police K-9 officers really have a sense of that depth. But again, to break that down as to, okay, a starting point, or if you're at a certain level with your police K-9, say, you know what, I know that, my dog performs perhaps at a certain level, but knowing intuitively that there's so much more. I mean, that's the whole point of, this system, is how do you actually achieve that? What's the roadmap to get there, in a intentional way, in a predictable way? How do you, and again, perhaps, again, watching this video, you're a police K-9 officer that knows that. And perhaps you've gotten into the point, and it can happen where it's almost like it's just these type of really easy finds, these gimme situations. But deep down, you know that those things are almost being kind of handed to you. You're frustrated because you know that you have this dog that has just absolutely fantastic drive, and this is where again, one of those issues where you see that in terms of the issue about the dog's focus not being there. And you see this even through, say, with tracking. This is where you'll see a dog, really kind of not invested properly on the track, in terms of using their nose, in terms of really being, focused the right way. And you'll see that with the dog popping, their head up off the track for the bite, and then not even releasing, in terms of having that level of control where there's a problem too, through protection, saying, well, I know my dog is really got a high drive, but I don't have that level of control. I have this dog that has, all the drive in the world, but there's something not right here. Okay. And again, this is why you'll see so many dogs get washed out in various programs, when the reality of that is that it's a relationship problem. Okay. It's a training problem. It's this issue about, the roadmap that's being followed and used. So, the great thing about this system of training, which really makes it really stand out and shine, is the roadmap itself. Okay, it's understanding. I talk about an interaction-based approach. It's how it works in terms of a specific interactions that represent, that the dog comes into agreement with, but fades you in, and then connecting dots, through again an interaction-based approach. Then in terms of using a motivator. Again, understanding even through, in terms of, you talk about tracking through drive is a concept that's used out there, but how that attaches, how that connects through a interaction-based approach that's going to truly get you to that high level, okay? And again, with your dog being invested the right way, having the right level of in terms of control, verbal commands, okay, through protection, all of it, having the full package deal, understanding how to get there. And this is what the system of training is all about, is, even answering questions. I mean, many years ago, as a police canine officer, on a training course, I remember asking, a top, world-renowned expert trainer, great guy, but asking him as a young officer, canine officer, asked him certain questions, and not having answers. And I didn't have the answers myself at the time, but always driven and desired to achieve those answers. Say, okay, I know that there's a roadmap. I know that, extends beyond appearances. It extends beyond, where certain things are happening. You see certain things in moments saying, okay, that doesn't make sense right now, but I know that it will at some point. And this system of training was developed from going through asking those tough questions, but doing a full audit. Really connecting dots, saying, okay, what is the, is there a system? Is there something? And the depth of that. So all to say that, in terms of anyone watching this, in terms of specialized training, police canine, the system of training is the roadmap to get you to where you need to go in terms of having a absolutely outstanding police canine team, being able to truly, get the most out of your team, and that's that level of bond, that level of insight and understanding. So moving you in that direction. So, I'd encourage you, if you're watching this video, again, if you're police canine officers, take a very serious look at what is offered through the system. The system of training is truly unique. It's totally different. It answers the questions. It provides the right foundation for police canine officers. So when you go on again to this page, okay, you'll see just some options here, because again, this is about taking this system of training for in many situations. I talk about enhancement training, how it is that this system of training you can take a hold of the system of training without having to start all over again or feeling like you got to start from scratch. This system of training provides the foundation to be able to work off of your strengths, okay, being able to wherever you're at. So in terms of your starting point, the starting point is where you're at right now. So it's not feeling like you have to start all over again at all. Okay, so oftentimes, again, I'll go into the actual what's offered through, say, courses and seminars, is how this system of training works for many people is a type of enhancement training. Okay, performance enhancement. I call it dynamic police team performance enhancement. So it starts first even with an assessment part. So what an assessment part means is that being able to, for me to meet you and your dog, to answer all your questions, to see where you're at, but in a constructive way. Okay, it's not about making people feel like they got to start all over again whatsoever. Okay, just seeing where you're at in terms of how your dog is focused on you, and then being able to incorporate this interaction based system into your current training. And so what that looks like in terms of moving forward and achieving that level of performance with your dog, it takes the form of enhancement type of training, or in terms of seminars. And again, the good news about this system of training is if you're looking at a seminar, this system of training, in terms of how it works in terms of, say, a 1 or 2 day type of approach, in terms of blending both instruction through classroom and then hands-on, kind of being out in various situations, training, hands-on training. It blends both. Being able to jump right into it that way through a 1 or even 2 day type of approach. So understand that this system of training offers that type of a flexibility. So even in terms of trainers, understand that for those who are police K-9 trainers who really want to connect some dots and taking the form of even coming in terms of your department, your police. It can be police. It can be I talk police. Understand there's in terms of law enforcement in general. Okay, it could be through the prison. It can be through certain border protection, law enforcement, all different aspects where we're in terms of search, explosive, narcotic, all of it. Okay, so it blends into the ability to be able to for this system of training, or in terms of having a type of a training situation, but even be able to come in and answer questions for people in terms of a classroom type of setting, even for trainers, being able to take a hold of this system of training and connect some dots, be able to really help people understand the roadmap to get there. So understand that this, in terms of Police K-9, there's all different ways that this can incorporate into various seminars, courses, 1-2 day courses, but also in terms of full training itself, right from the very beginning, right on through. So there's the flexibility with that. So again, I encourage you to check out this system of training. If you're interested in knowing more, just a matter of contacting me through email. There's a contact, through the contact forms available through the site. And, in terms of how the system of training can help you reach your full performance with your dog, just a matter of contacting me, and I'd be more than happy to answer all of your questions. Thanks for watching.